Someone once said, I've never had bullets fly by my head, but I've experienced freedom because of men who did. Forever thankful to every veteran's sacrifice. This is Vets and Coffee, the podcast. Finally, a podcast 100% about veterans. Looking at veterans making a difference in the veterans community. We'll help veterans and we'll spotlight veteran-owned businesses and businesses that support and hire veterans. Plus, guzzle down some amazing coffee. Welcome to Vets and Coffee, the podcast. Now your host, Tree McLean.
Good afternoon. How are we doing today? This is all brand new I'm doing. I am just doing a live podcast when I feel like it. So we have brought on Mr. David Vincent of the bow22.org organization. Welcome to the show today. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you just fine. That's great.
Awesome. Cool.
I like the color of your shirt. Yeah, it's all my colors too. So for those of y'all that are my followers and so forth, David Vincent is a U.S. Marine veteran. So when did you go in, Mr. Vincent?
I went in March of 1998.
So he went in prior to 9/11.
Absolutely. I was almost the end of my first enlistment when 9/11 happened.
Yeah, yeah. So how long did you serve?
11 years, 1 month, and 29 days, but who's counting?
That's great. So what you do in the Marine Corps?
So for 7.5 years, I was a heavy equipment mechanic. 1341 is our MLS number.
Mm-hmm.
The last 4 years, I became a Marine Corps drill instructor. 0911, 8511 was our MOS code.
Hoorah.
And it helped, yes, sir, helped train a couple of future Marines, for our Marine Corps.
Yeah, something. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that was it, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I when I was in the Army, I fell in love with the boot camp, and I really came really close to going back into becoming a drill sergeant myself. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
but I went to the career path of the Department of Justice. That's a whole different story there.
Yes, sir.
But man, that's really cool. So when did you get out? What year did you get out?
So I got out in 2009, late April.
Yeah. And how was your transition?
It wasn't too bad. It was kind of a shock because I was med boarded, medically retired, and it's kind of forced to get out. So it wasn't like, hey, I'm planning ahead, it's coming up. It was, hey, you're getting out in a month, and here's your TAP classes, and be on your way.
Something to do with your ankle or leg, was it?
Yes, sir. Not directly, but indirectly. My left foot was severed 3/4 of the way, reattached in 2005. I didn't get separated until 2009. Actually, in 2003, I broke C5 and C7. We were deployed overseas, getting ready to cross for the line of departure, and broke my neck and back. So I did that. My left foot was cut off in 2005. Everything's fine. I have stress fractures from a knee to my ankle. They're like, you need to retire. It was kind of crazy. So, but the stress fractures were indirect because of my other ankle. All the weight goes on that side of your body. So that's it was indirect from that the ankle.
Yeah, I've seen you hiking limping quite a bit after the hike.
Yes, sir. It's kind of it's tough after the hike.
Yeah. So that's another thing is I've been to two of them set up with the Patriot Knife Coffee, and that's an impressive deal you have there. I mean, it's well put together. I'm really impressed. I've been doing fundraisers and events for years, and I have to say your events are well put together. I was really impressed with them.
I appreciate it. And I can't take all the credit. The wife does
I know Stephanie's an awesome gal. Yeah.
And then our board of directors, and also we always have a hike committee or a gala committee, and those people they turn the world around for us. So they help us out with everything we do. So the credit goes to most of them, and it's a wonderful event.
Yeah, it is, and it's so neat how the town, Lake Jackson.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, they just step up to the plate and get involved with it. All the businesses around there are all involved, it seems like, and it's really an impressive event and it's a great town to, turn out and so forth. So you've got your gala coming up. I had the I don't know if you noticed that I had the flyer posted when I first started.
Sir, there it is.
And had it in the podcast I filmed the other day. I brought this up. So how's your ticket sales for it this year?
We're doing pretty good, and that's kind of why we're talking. Is we're always looking for more table sponsors, individual tickets. We have up to 70 tables available. I'm not sure exactly the count right now, but we'll get there. But all those funds go back to our veterans, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the gala, this will be our second annual gala. Last year went great between the gala and a raffle for a beautiful rifle we had last year. We raised around $125,000 for Val 22. And just so everybody knows, I'm the current president. The wife is the vice president. We have a whole board of directors. None of us are ever paid. We're 100% free. We are volunteers. We all have full-time jobs, and we do the vow when we have a little bit of time here in between lunches or at night, or if a veteran calls us, we step away from our job for a little bit and take care of that veteran. So all this money directly goes back to a program for veterans.
And would you believe this Marine doesn't drink coffee? I mean, blows my mind. I mean, it's like, what?
I got to quit drinking. I got to quit drinking those monsters, man. I got to get on coffee or something, because those things will kill me one day.
Yeah. So, yeah, David does not drink coffee. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, quit calling me sir, man. I'm enlisted, okay?
Well,
I know.
it's a Texas thing.
It's a gray beard. I know. So,
Yes, sir.
but so what all you still need sponsor tables and so forth. What are your prices and so forth for tables and everything and ticket
Yes, sir.
prices?
I have it pulled up right here. So our hike, we do everything on the enlisted side, Marine Corps. You know, we go private, corporal, gunnery sergeant, sergeant major. That's our levels for the hike. Well, the gala's a fancy dress party. I don't know if you have any kids or grandkids. Peppa Pig, fancy dress party. It's kind of what we call it. Is our so those levels are all the officer side. So we have, you know, the first lieutenant, captain, colonel, and general sponsor. And then, of course, we have our event title sponsor, which is kind of like a white elephant. It's there. It's a lot of money. If we get it, it'll be wonderful. But so we start out first lieutenant level. It's $500. You get 4 tickets. It's half a table. Captain level is a full table. It's $1,000. And all of them have different breakdowns on what you get. The colonel sponsor is $2,500. It's a VIP table, so it's much closer to the front. You can see everything a lot better. Name and logo on the tables, special event recognition. Then we go to the general sponsor. That is our $5,000 table. You get 2 full tables, name and logo and everything, special events. So you're right up front. You get 2 tables side by side, so your whole party's there. And then the big one is the event title sponsor. So there's only one of those available. It's the premier VIP tables, name everywhere. It's the big one. Again, we have it just in case some
General of the Army.
What's that?
Is it the General of the Army table?
Right. It's like the 5-star general that no one ever sees. But yes, it's our unicorn, or it's our white elephant. It's the big one that one day might sell, but the rest of the tables are good to go. And also we do individual tickets.
Yeah, I'm interested in the butter bar table.
Yeah.
Coffee sales have been poor this year, okay?
Right. No, I understand that. Everything's been a little slow. Individual ticket sales are $75 a piece. Val22.org. There's a tab on there that says Gala. You click on that. There's a direct link to purchase tickets. Go ahead and purchase tickets there, and you'll be good to go for the night of the gala. It's September 17th. Everybody thinks I picked that day because that is my birthday, but happy birthday to me, right? So it'll be a fun time that night.
I actually thought it had to do with being the month of what month this is. Not just September, but it's PTSD Awareness Month.
Sir, absolutely. It just happened to be in September. It's a good time. It's end of summer, so it's not extremely hot, but it's not in the winter time yet, cold enough. So it was a great time to have a gala.
Yeah. So that's awesome. So, so you still have 70 tables.
Yes, sir.
So, and it's really close by. So we need to get to step up to the plate and get some people in there buying tables. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also, we're looking for a couple more auction items, big auction items. If somebody has a a beach house rental or a vacation, something they have set up, they can donate as a auction items. And that helps raise a lot more money too, because the auctioneer we have does a wonderful job of getting these business owners to step up to the plate and bid a little bit higher for these items. And it helps us raise some money. So if anybody has some great auction items for us, we'd love to accept them.
Yeah, I wish I could still do a Patriot knife. It's just I can't stand up anymore to build them.
Yes, sir.
It's
We
really tough.
understand.
But I'm going to send you the gift set, and I've got a brand new Vincent coffee mug that I'm sure Josh will like drinking out of.
Oh yes, he will.
But I'll send you a gift set. I'll send you a gift set of coffee.
Yeah, he's a coffee connoisseur. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
He loves it.
So I sent him some last week, some coffee.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, well, that's great. So, what's new with your life? Anything?
No, just staying busy at work.
You still working the same place?
Absolutely. A small. I have this joke with all my military buddies. Before my company got big these last couple of years on social media, I always tell my buddies I work at a gas station car wash, and they're like, "Oh, okay, that sucks." And then now I tell them, "Hey, I work for Buc-ee's, and I've been doing it for 12 years." And everybody knows Buc-ee's because of TikTok and everything else. But it's a wonderful company to work for. They've been taking care of myself and my family for many years, and I hope to be there many more years. But got to keep myself valuable to them, and we'll be good to go.
Yeah, you stay pretty busy working for them. Are you hurting for employees?
Actually not, because we pay the employees so well that we can be selective on who we pick, and the process is pretty long to pick someone to work for me. So usually they stick around quite a while. So no, we're not hurting for employees.
Well, that's surprising. So many businesses are hurting for employees, and they're having trouble getting them on. Yeah. So, but someone that wants to join Buc-ee's team, they can sign up though, and and if you need them, yeah. So is it you think it's a great company for a veteran to go work for?
Well, that's funny you say that. It's how I found them. I was in California. It was during the Obama, he was doing the furloughs. I was working for the government as a civilian at the time. He did furloughs, so every other Friday we were off with no pay, but I was also the new guy. So they didn't have room for me as a new guy, so I got cut. So I went on hireheroes.com, and Buc-ee's was on there, and I'm from Lake Jackson. I grew up down here and everything else. There was a general manager position, needed a mechanical experience and leadership experience. I had both. Talked to them, came into it, loved it. And but working for them, Abel's funds us that we don't have to take any money from Val 22. We don't have to take a paycheck. We don't rely on it. And we want to keep it that way as long as we can. We're, Val 22 money that comes in goes back to the veterans 100%. And that's why
good.
And the wife has a good job. I have a good job. And that way we don't have to take anything from the nonprofit at all to sustain our lifestyle at all. So that's our goal. It's been our main goal from day one, is as much as we can go back to those veterans. And we haven't talked about it yet, but the main mission of Val 22 is to prevent veteran suicide. And the main way we do that is to provide counseling for those veterans that come back and need somebody to talk to. Unfortunately, and I love the VA. I go every 3 months for my ankle, but they're just overwhelmed. There's a lot of veterans getting out right now, and in between their appointments, the veterans still go to your appointments. For the love of God, please go to the appointments, because they will take care of you. But in between those appointments, if you still need some help, Val 22 down in Missouri County, Harris County, and Galveston County, we can help you get the counseling you need now, and we'll pay for it. And it started out that way, and then we're like, wait a minute. The spouses took care of us, our families, while we were gone. What about them? What emotional stuff did they go through while we're deployed? So we were like, okay, let's take care of the spouses. They might need counseling too. And if you think about it now, there's the Iraq and Afghanistan invasions, 02, 03. That's now 19 and 20 years ago. If you had a child during that time, your young adults are now 18, 19, 20 years old. They grew up with us as veterans being deployed. Mommy having to deal with everything. Mommy being a single parent, or daddy being a single parent when they weren't really single parent. Daddy and mommy was deployed. So they have to have somebody to talk to. So as Val 22, we pay for the entire family. We pay for the veteran, the spouse, and the children of the veteran that needs some help. Now, there is some other events. Let's say, unfortunately, there is a suicide. a brother or sister of the victim, the veteran that might have taken their life, the mother or father, or the children. They're all qualified for our program, not just directly spouse and children. So if unfortunately a veteran does do it and we can't catch them all, we try to. But if we don't happen to catch them, we'll take care of the brother or sister, mom, dad. If they need somebody to talk to, we'll provide that counseling for them at no cost to them. And that, again, that's where all this money that we raise goes towards, is that counseling program. And we do meet and greets throughout the year, but our biggest thing is the counseling program.
Go ahead. Are you providing any weekly warrior groups or anything like that?
We currently don't do that. There is other organizations out there that do that.
Yeah,
we just don't have the manpower itself.
Yeah.
We pay a couple different counseling centers. They take care of all of our counseling for us. Personally, we are not licensed counselors. We're veterans. We're spouses. We're volunteers. We'll take the phone call. We like to call it gatekeepers. There's a training called the gatekeeper training. What you do is you take somebody that's in crisis and get them the help they need. But in the middle, you keep them on the phone, you keep them alive, you keep them talking until the help can get to them. There's been many, many times that I'll get a phone call from a veteran. I don't know them. They got our number, my number, personal number's listed. They'll get a hold of me just in crisis. Well, there's certain ways we can find out where they're at, and we can dispatch help, family, friends. Unfortunately, sometimes the local sheriff's department to get out there and talk to them, because they do have a mental health team. They can talk to them. While I'm on the phone with them, I get Stephanie. She's doing all her computer work, finding out what she can find out, and she gets them the help they need now. And we got a couple of numbers here. We've been doing the counseling since 2019. We have 151 clients, so husband, wife, children, parents, brother and sisters. So we've now paid for over 1,140 counseling sessions. So it comes out to a lot of money, but you know what? That's why we do this. That's why we raise the money, and to keep them going. So, but that's the main thing we do, is the mental health counseling that used to be taboo to talk about. You know, in any service, you went and saw the wizard, you thought, man, my career's over. I can't go talk to him or her. If I talk to somebody about my problems, I'm done. I'm blacklisted. I'm not getting promoted. I'm not getting deployed. I can't re-enlist. Well, slowly the military's changed that mindset, and us veterans that are out, we have to change that mindset. There's nothing more manly than asking for help and seeking help, and then finally admit, you know what? Maybe I need to talk to somebody. Now, I thought I could deal with this on my own. You push it in, and it finally comes out. Unfortunately, the largest suicide rate currently is the Vietnam veteran guys. It's not Desert Storm. It's not Iraq, Afghanistan. And my personal theory is, I don't know if you ever met a Vietnam veteran, they're some of the hardest working people you've ever met. They work their entire lives to keep that stuff that they don't ever want to talk about it. So they keep it all in. Sons, daughters, kids move away. The wife may finally pass away or maybe get divorced after 50 years. And now he's home alone, bored.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what to do. Now all the survivor's guilt is, why do I get to live this lifestyle? My sergeant that died over there, why did he have to go? He had a wife and children. I was single. So the biggest one is these Vietnam veterans, and it's hard to talk those guys into getting counseling because they have that old mindset. We got the parades. We got the commercials. We got the thank you, welcome homes, and man, thank you for your service. They got spit on. They got denied jobs. They were fourth-class citizens. So just a reminder, guys, if you see any Vietnam veterans, just tell them welcome home and thank you.
I've got two by me. I take care of all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I take them out to eat and take them shopping and whatever they need. I help them out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. That's very important. Yeah. I've got a cousin, a Vietnam veteran. I got a great uncle that was a Vietnam veteran. So yeah. No, there's a great bunch of people. I know I hear about it too, a lot from them. So I like to hear about what you're doing for the families. That's really neat. I see that other PTSD organizations are beginning to do the same as well, bringing in the families and the warrior groups and so forth like that. I'm glad to hear that. I was talking to a female Air Force veteran this morning out of state, and she's does a lot of stuff for women's veterans as well, and she's running into constant issues of people accepting female veterans in her programs. Yeah. So I said, yeah, I've heard that as well. It's a lot of them, they won't take them in for the ones that are like where they move in and stuff like that. And she goes, that's correct.
Right.
So, but you help out male and female veterans?
Absolutely. Yeah. So just a real quick breakdown of our requirements too for counseling. We have to have your DD 214, because if we do get audited, somebody in the family has to be a veteran. We've got burnt before in the very, very beginning, but somebody has to be a veteran. They have to have any kind of discharge other than dishonorable. Now, we say that dishonorable discharge, there are some circumstances that we accept them. If they were drinking too much because of PTSD, if they were doing drugs and drugs. Now, if you were trafficking people, sexual assault, rape, any of that stuff, there's the door. Don't let it turn the way out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not dealing with you. No disrespect, but I'm disrespecting you.
Well, that's fine. That's I had on a veterans court judge last week.
Yeah.
And they work with veterans with PTSD and addiction and so forth and alcoholism, but they're the same way. They will not help a veteran dealing with rape, murder, and sexual trafficking and such like that, which is fine.
Right.
That's great. Yeah.
Personal preference.
yeah. Sorry, man. Yeah, I'd rather bury you.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a good program. It's helped a lot of veterans. Some people, they do 4 or 5 counseling sessions, and they're like, man, that's taught me a lot, and they moved on. And some of them have been there for a little bit, and it just helps them every week to get through. As long as we save 1 or 2 lives, that'd be all worth it, all of our time and effort. Stephanie puts in an outrageous amount of time into this organization. She keeps it running.
Yes, she does.
Flawlessly.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, we always make the joke that I'm the pretty face because I'm always the one out talking. She's the gorgeous one, but she's always one behind the cameras, on the keyboard, and just making sure everything runs good.
Yeah, you're real pretty.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually mentioned your wife on a comment I made on the Patriot Knife Coffee group.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So I was mentioning about the gala and everything, and I said, come, check out you, but be sure to thank his wife, Stephanie, for doing all the stuff she does.
100%.
Yeah.
Without her, we definitely wouldn't be as successful as we are today.
Yeah, she's always at the hike like an hour earlier than you are,
Oh, she's always there early. Now, that is make a quick joke. She's probably going to kill me for this, but that's probably the only time she's earlier than me anywhere. So I'm usually the early one. I don't like being late anywhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, in fact, every time I go there, I always see her first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, that's great.
So
when is the hike?
The hike next year, let me pull up my calendar. It is the 2nd Saturday of February. So I think that is February 11th. So it'll be February 11th. We moved it back 1 weekend from last year. We keep running into Little League opening day and the softball opening day. No matter where we move it, they keep following us, and sometimes we have to come back, and we get it. Family comes first. You have a boy or girl at 6, 7, 15 years old that wants to play, you got to be there for them. So we're trying to move it back just a little bit, stay away from sports. And that way we can get as much participation as possible because it's important. City of Lake Jackson, the state of Texas, loves our veterans. They show up and show out. They put on a pretty good we never have to pay for the Civic Center ever again because we are a community event. We don't take money at that event. We don't charge any admission for that event. There is no registration sign up for that walk. Anybody can sign up for that. Anybody can show up for the walk, from a veteran, spouse, kids, to just a supporter of the community, or, hey, I feel like going on a 4-mile walk today. Let's go. And it's open. Next year is going to be a little more special. We used to get done with the walk and go downtown Lake Jackson, kind of have an after party, relax, and everything else. But our board of directors and the committee, we spend an hour and a half cleaning up the Civic Center. By the time we get to that party, everybody's either gone and we get to talk to them. So this year we're going to continue the party downtown at the Civic Center. So we'll have a band there. We'll have the food trucks continue to be there. Any of the the vendor booths that are there, they can hang out for the whole time instead of having that short 2 or 3 hour window in the morning. They can be there throughout the day. What was special about last year's is we had what's called the BCPC, the Missouri County Petrochemical Council. They're all the big wigs of all the plants down here. They were set up kind of actively recruiting inside the Civic Center for veterans. They are having a career fair for veterans. And I think 3 or 4 colleges were also in there. Alvin Community College, Bradsport Community College, a couple other places. We're just giving information about veteran programs at their colleges. So it's just a great day all around. And that's our funnest day of the year is that hike, because we get to see all the veterans we haven't seen all year. So the hike is a Veterans Day with a whole bunch of people. The gala is more, like I said, more of a fancy dress party. So a lot of our big sponsors are these petrochemical plants out here: Dow, BASF, 3M, Olin, Phillips 66, and then all the local businesses. We've had Tammy Bell Real Estate, Bakers, him himself, Josh Baker and his wife. They have their dental service. So we get a lot of sponsors down here, and then they can see where their money goes at our gala. So they get to get dressed up. The VPs come out, the presidents come out, and they can see where their money's going to, so they can hear the stories, the testimonials, and just have a good time. And finally see, you know what, that's where our money's going, and we're going to continue to support. So this year, our timeline, make sure I get this right. It's, I think 6:30 is the cocktail hour. 6:30 to 7:30 is the dinner with the speakers. So I'll be up there talking, a couple testimonials we talking, and after that will be our auction. So it'll be a good time, and we'll have a band playing during cocktail hour, and it'll be a good time, man.
That's good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I'm not into galas, but yeah, that's good.
Well, it's we like I said, that's why we call it our fancy dress party, because we get to dress
I'll be
up.
at the hike.
There you go.
Yeah. So I know one of my buddies that runs Raul Marino runs Charlie Mike podcast.
Yes,
He'll
sir.
be there.
Awesome.
Now we'll be there again with the coffee, but we'll also do a podcast live from there as well if you want.
This time I could actually jump on. I kept trying to jump on, but man, I was pulled in 15 different directions last year, and I felt so bad because he kept calling me to jump on his podcast, but everybody wanted to talk about ideas for this next year, and I kept getting pulled. And by the time I was done, he was done with his podcast. So this year I am going to jump on his podcast because we're going to continue the party there after the hike. So it'll be good.
Yeah. I'm actually going to have him and William on my podcast soon.
Cool.
Yeah, they're really good friends of mine. I love those two guys. They're great.
They're awesome. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so, I was talking to them just yesterday, so I pretty much talk to them every day anyway. But yeah, that's great. That is absolutely wonderful. Well, hey, you got anything else you want to talk about?
That's it for now. But we just going back to the gala, man. If anybody is needing any information about the gala, sponsorship packets, just more information, our email address is info@val22.org. It's real easy. It's info@val22.org. Send us an email, and we'll gladly send you out our packet with all of our information in it. If you have any questions, day-to-day questions, there are 6 of us that monitor our messenger on Facebook, Val22 on Facebook. If you have any questions, send us that. My personal cell phone is on the website. So if you ever have any other question, want to talk to somebody, give me a call. I'll answer my phone. If I don't answer it, I'll call you back quickly because I might be at work. But yeah, that's our thing, man. We love what we do, and it keeps Stephanie busy, and we just got to take care of our veterans. We had nothing in our community down here for it. There was nothing out here for veterans that could, with this capacity. So we just thought to step up and do it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's great. So, and once again, be sure to check out our show sponsors. It's on the little red banner at the bottom of the screen, patriotknifecoffee.com, and use the discount code podcast to save 20% on your order. Or go to charliemikemilitaryapparel.com and you'll get free shipping. That's Raul's business there, Raul Marino, and his he's got his podcast as well. Good friends of mine. Check out the Charlie Mike podcast on Thursday evenings. Great show. So once again, thank you. And something we always like to do here is, let me bring that up real quick, is always never let them be forgotten. Thanks again, David, for being on the show, and we'll get you on before the hike again. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thanks, sir.
You've been listening to Vets and Coffee, the podcast. As you can see, veterans and coffee are Tree's passions, and we want to make a difference in the veterans community. And with your help and continued listenership, we'll do exactly that. If you enjoyed the show, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. See you next time on Vets and Coffee, the podcast.